Hey, welcome back to Questions Over Coffee. I'm your host, Kevin Smith. It's a pleasure to see you again. Can I get you a cup of coffee? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of the good questions that people have that very well could bless your personal study and your walk with God. And again, if you have other questions, please leave them in the comments below and we will do our best to get to those so that your questions will be answered as well. And the question we're going to be considering today is just a simple overview of what our Bibles have so that our Bible study can be blessed by it, so that we know what we're looking at. The Bible is made up of two sections: the Old Testament that has 39 books and the New Testament that has 27 books. The Old Testament tells the story of creation. It tells the story of man's decision to sin, and it tells the story of God's plan to bring about a deliverer so that his creation can be with him again, that relationship could be fixed. Well, when you get to the New Testament, you get this story about a man who came to do just that. This man is named Jesus, the Messiah, the Christ, the one chosen by God to come and die for the sins of mankind to allow us an opportunity to reconcile with God. The Bible is made up of different types of literature. So if you try to read every book the same way, you're gonna have problems. It would be like trying to read, let's say, Edgar Allan Poe the same way you read Charles Dickens, the same way you read a history book, the same way you read even Emily Dickinson. I mean, you'd make yourself crazy. And you wouldn't get what you're looking for in those texts. Well, the Bible is the same way. In the Old Testament, the first half of your Bible, what you've got are books of the law, which are the first 5 books of the Old Testament. It's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Then you've got a history section, for lack of a better word. It's Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther. You've also got a section that is referred to as wisdom literature. It's Job and Ecclesiastes. You've got a section that's poetry, which is very good for a bad day. It'll really cheer you up. You've got Psalms, Proverbs, Song of Solomon, or in some versions it's called Song of Songs, and also Lamentations. And then you've got a big section of 13 books that are referred to as prophecy. It's the remainder of your Old Testament. Well, when you get to the New Testament, you've also got different writing types. The first 4 books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are referred to as the Gospels. They tell the story of Jesus. Some tell the story of his birth all the way to his resurrection. Some tell other pieces of that and leave out pieces. Mark does not mention anything about Jesus' birth, things like that. You've got one book in the New Testament that's a history book. It's the book of Acts. It tells the beginnings of the church and the beginnings of spreading the gospel. You've then got a bunch of what's called letters or epistles written by apostles. The book of Hebrews, we don't know who wrote. Then the final book in your New Testament is an apocalyptic book, a book that says this is what's going to happen in the future, things to come. It's the book of Revelation. I hope this helps you to find the things you need and to consider better what God has in His book, the Bible, for you and me. Don't forget to subscribe below to the channel so that you don't miss any of the good videos that are coming up with these very, very valuable questions. And we will see you next time. Keep pressing forward.